Hi, this is Jerica St. Germain of Skyhouse 1111. Yesterday, I was considering doing a full-length feature film detailing the way the media uses many tricks of the trade to lead people to certain conclusions without expressing those conclusions directly. It was also an analysis of how these tricks could be used to enhance a message as well as distort it. And the example subject of study was going to be the UFO community. But I thought, what the fuck am I doing? Everybody and their mother posts their social analysis on YouTube. Doing this film would be like adding another turd on the manure pile. Oh, what will that accomplish? And then it hit me. I was working on a segment of the film that dealt with the use of music and sound to alter the effect of any given film would have on a person. The whole idea was that in almost any given film, a mere change in the soundtrack could change the impressions one would get from the raw data stream presented in the video. Okay, so here's the idea. I would compile a raw stream of video footage, a compilation of UFO and alien footage from various sources. Now it didn't really matter whether the nature of the videos or the pictures were genuine or if they were hoaxed. I wasn't trying to go for that angle. I just wanted to have a body of work put together that I could use. And with the exception of two parts of the film, I would cut out all sound. And this would constitute my main body of work. It would not be altered during each successful part of the experiment. Here was the challenge. By using only a soundtrack, a lead-in, and perhaps a few sound effects, I would define the message of each film by that alone. No alteration to the original video footage whatsoever otherwise. That way, I would illustrate the power of ambience to define the mood for the information in the raw video. My first example would be the video I uploaded, called Conspiracy. What I did was I added a lead-in from the Alex Jones program, took a couple clips from it, pardon me, and set the mood of the film with the use of the music and this sound effect I used, which was a shotgun reduced to 25% speed, to give the impression of danger associated with these UFOs, to give a sense of ominousness and like New World Order type of thing. My second example, called "It's Cool," would be to have a lead-in with a clip from a cute little international fund for animal welfare PSA that I found. The one, the elephant flying into the airport. And play some, nonchalant music to the original information footage. Again, the original raw footage was unchanged, no cuts to it, no special effects, mainly only adding a few sound effects. The idea was, in this film, I would present UFOs to be just a regular happenstance, nothing to be worried about, just your, friendly neighborhood aliens. Now, I originally intended to have only two examples to illustrate this point, just enough to fit in the segment of the overall film I was gonna do. But me being me, I got carried away with the endeavor and pretty much lost a night's worth of sleep over it. Ascension is a film which I used Ambiance to paint UFOs in a sort of positive light, full of hope and discovery. If you think of the theme music for the TV series Enterprise, how it's just got all this hold on, how it's just so full of hope and discovery. My other film, What the Fuck Loopy, was intended to paint UFOs as a kook's fantasy. However, after viewing it when it was done, I'm not really sure what to make of it. But, well, if anything, it illustrates the old saying that, you know, you can add yakety sax to any film and it's pretty much instantly hilarious. Now, interestingly enough, Late Night Show is actually a serendipitous project. Well, the story behind that was there were two segments in the raw footage that actually had sound in it, and the volume level in the footage, both of the footage that had the sound in it, was just so out of whack. I mean, in the footage dealing with the Latin America play the inciting, the one taken from the cell phone camera. This was way loud and was super distorted. I don't know who produced that film, but they wanted to hard limit the sound of that to just crazy levels. It was just way loud, and let me give you an example. The normal volume level for sound in the program I use to edit videos is about 100. And in order to get kind of a balance, I had to reduce that to 3. Yeah, that's right, 3. That's how bad it was. The clip with the Gordon Cooper interview was kinda soft, so I had to boost that up a bit. And I'd just like to say, Colonel Cooper, sir, wherever you may be, please forgive me for the goofy videos. I was just trying to illustrate a point. I wasn't trying to make fun of you or nothing. I've got so much respect for you, okay? I had to figure out a way to make sure the volume levels were equaled out so that it would fit well with any given soundtrack, so it wouldn't be too loud or too soft. I'd have one thing too loud, one thing too soft, so you couldn't really adjust to have a happy medium. So in order to do that, I just picked kind of like a random soundtrack and just placed it in the music, the music section of the editor to measure the volume by ear. Turns out the soundtrack I used, oddly enough, and as weird as it seemed, fit perfectly with the footage. It reminded me of an intro to some galactic late show with David Letterman, so, I just went with it. Okay, to tell you how easy this was, after I had compiled the raw video footage, the main segment, it literally took me minutes to come up with each film. It took me longer waiting for the computer to render them. Granted, they aren't technically polished, and more could have been done to them to make them a little bit more polished, but that wasn't the point here. The point was to show that given any segment of video footage that you just had to use, one could change the overall impression of the footage by changing the lead-in in the soundtrack. And of course, I got carried away further. I thought maybe there was a better way to get my point across. Of course, anybody can yap about their point. I mean, everybody else does on YouTube. Well, why not let them explore for themselves through the observation of application, which is the videos I have up on this playlist, and possibly even through possible participation in the process. In other words, making their own videos the same way. This one I came up with the idea for what I call the Ambiance Challenge Experiment, or ACE, whatever you want to call it. Well, yeah, that's right. I'm calling you fuckers out. All of you fuckers who think they're so badass, fancying themselves as some kind of videographer because they stole a video off someone's account, figured out how to add text in their favorite Creed song to it, and upload it to their own account. Time to step up, fuckers. Here's the deal. You can add any short intro you want to the beginning of the footage. You can do whatever you want with the lead-in. You can add a soundtrack or sound effects to deliver the ambience of the raw footage, or you can even expand that soundtrack to right when your lead-in starts. That's fine. You can adjust the volume levels in the raw footage to suit your need. I realize I didn't do an entirely good job of that. I'm sure you could probably tweak it to the sound to, better suit the, just do some kind of equalization, or what do you call it, use an equalizer on it to get it to sound better. Okay, but the raw video portion of the raw footage, the video portion of the raw footage must remain untouched. No special effects to it, no sepia tone, no glare effects, no extra video besides the lead-in. The idea of the experiment is to use audio ambience alone to deliver a message. The title of your video on YouTube must include the words Ambience Challenge Experiment. It would help if you put this in your meta tag too. Your description must include the link to the playlist, which can be found in the description of this video. If you send me a message on YouTube and I like your entry, it will put it up. I will put it up on the playlist. And it also helps if you mention what kind of impression you were going for in your description as well. Not that it actually has to end up that way, but it's always interesting to know what you were going for. If you wish to preview the raw footage before you download it, the link for that video is in the description. If you wish to download the actual raw video file, that link is in the description as well. Any questions, just shoot me a message here on YouTube. Thanks and good luck.